I could catch like 15 to 18 in the first 30 minutes every day cranking, and after that it was done. You couldn't get a bite on nothing. Don't care what you did. I finally done my A-rig out the third day. Went and caught me 17 pounds first 30 minutes, picked up my A-rig, cold 4-pounders the rest of the day. For 6 hours I cold 4-pounders.
Jeez.
It's so crazy.
How'd you get an A-rig?
I had to. I bought 2 at Pickwick that year, like back in June, and dummy me never did throw it and try to figure it out.
You want to know my A-rig story?
Yeah.
At Pickwick.
Yeah.
The man, Andy Poss, came up to me. I was doing a deal in a Walmart. He said, "Here, you need to have this." And then Andy's buddy of mine now.
He give it to you?
Oh yeah, he said.
God, he made me buy 2 of them. I give him 50 bucks.
Well, I was big time.
You were big time.
He
Straight
said,
talk boat and everything.
He said, "Here, you get." No, that was probably before Straight Talk. That was probably BP.
Yeah, that was BP. That was like,
Yeah. Man handed me one. I walked out of the Walmart, threw it in the trash can, got in my truck.
I know a bunch of guys that did that.
Yeah.
Threw them away. He gave them to them and threw them away.
Yeah. That was not a good idea.
I bought 2 of them.
Because a few months later, I really wish I would have.
Like to have had that thing.
Yeah, I was in Ace Hardware with clothes hangers trying to build one.
That's what I
had one.
When
Hey,
he
threw
won
it in the
that,
trash.
Does that make you feel dumber, or the fact that I bought 2 there, threw it in practice for that tournament at Pickwick, caught a couple fish on it, and still didn't try to figure it out?
It makes what it actually does is makes me feel dumber for us even talking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because obviously I'm dumb. Yeah. No, actually you were smart. You actually had enough initiative to see the kind of the potential.
Yeah.
Where I just took it as another flying lure and just threw it in the damn trash can. Or banjo minnow or whatever.
I used to wreck them on banjo minnow.
I did too.
There you go.
That lure worked.
It
The
did.
original.
It did.
so I got 2 stories about the birth of the A-rig. First off, the fall before it all went down, I'm at Bugs Island Lake practicing for a Federation Championship. And I'm fishing this riprap and I'm getting up in the corner, and this freaking cast net looking thing lands on it. And I was like, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know anybody was even over there, you know. I ease on around there, this thing keeps landing. And it's this old, like 70-year-old guy sitting in a chair, throwing around this bridge above the island. I said, "What you throwing there, old buddy?" He said, "That's one of them Alabama rigs." He said, "I ordered this thing off the internet. I catch them 2 and 3 at a time on this thing. And grubs on it." I looked at the boy with me and I said, "It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life." And he was like, "You ought to get you one." He's like, "Man, I'm telling you, this thing is special." He kept telling me all about it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, you have a good day." Just kept on going down the bank. We laughed about that guy for at least 3 weeks after that. And it was a full year. I mean, if I really got one and, you know, looked into it. So anyways, fast forward, Paul catches all these fish. I was out there watching him, whatever. Went to the weigh-in. And possums already, they're impossible to get. By the weigh-in, you can't get one.
Yeah.
Went to my buddy and I was like, "We got to figure out how to make one of these." Excuse me. And so next morning we got to 6 o'clock, started going to hardware stores. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon I had 2 prototypes made. I went to Mean Creek, my buddy Cody tied one on, I tied the other one on. We didn't even have no braid on, just throwing fluorocarbon. We backed the boat in, I pick him up, the fish comes up to school on the boat ramp in Mean Creek, which is where Perosnik caught a lot of his fish on it anyways. So he turns around and throws it and breaks his off, first cast, breaks it off. You know, we didn't know what size heads. I mean, people were using like 1 ounce heads and all kinds of stuff. We didn't know. Nobody knew what was going on.
The contraption I had rigged up for that thing, I had the original Alabama rig on a flipping stick, 25-pound fluorocarbon, and I think I had 5 like 5/8 ounce heads.
Yeah, that's what we didn't know about
And
it.
5.5 inch Shadowlicious swim baits. I mean, it was the god awfulest thing you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, so Cody breaks his off. I catch 53 in the next 2.5 hours before dark. 53. We counted them, had most of them on film. I mean, I had like 10 doubles. I mean, it's crazy. I've never even seen nothing like it. Fish were swimming 50 foot to bite that thing. I'm certain of it. Like you would call fish in, and they would, you know, because they would get to be more and more of them. The more you threw in there, the more there was. But they were just swimming to find that thing. They could feel it or something. Well, by the time I get done, I got like a 3-boat audience out here. And so we quit and still go over to the dock. This guy comes up and he goes, "Where'd you get that at?" I said, "I made it." He said, "Well, I got a tournament starts tomorrow. I need that thing." And I said, well, it's just prototype, man. I'm trying to figure out a way, because I just moved down there and started guiding. I was poor. I was like, I'm trying to figure out a way to make a few of these so I can sell some. And he goes, "Well, sell me that one." And I was like, "Man, I don't know if I can make another one like it. I need to take it home." And he pulled a $100 bill out and said, "Here, I'll take it just like it is." I just cut it off right in his boat. It already caught 53. It was about wore out.
Yeah.
I just swim baits, heads, and all. I just cut it off in his boat, took his $100 bill, and then for like 2 straight months, I'd be at Goose Pond every morning selling them. I'd have a line of people waiting there on them. We called ours the Gunnersville rig. We sold $30-some thousand worth of them on eBay in 2 months. And I mean, if you came to my house for 2 months after that, you came to work. Yeah. I mean, we had freaking pans of wires laying everywhere here. We watched TV and just sit here and twist swivels on. And we sold like $34,000 worth of them in 2 months on eBay.
Wow.
And I would go to Goose Pond every morning. There'd be people waiting. You could only buy one for $40. And I would go every morning. I'd have 10 or 12. I'd take down there and sell them at Goose Pond. People would be waiting to get them. It was insane.
Nuts.
Gunnersville rig.
That's crazy.
It was a crazy time, man. Like a year after that, that's all you threw. I mean, the first tournament in that next spring, like the first BFL.
Doing too good now as far as the day rig stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I went to the first BFL next year, and the high that day was 19, and it blew like 30 miles an hour. My co-anchor was covered in ice. I mean, just a whole sheet of ice when we got where we were going. I had a 19-foot Ranger back then, and it beat you up, you know, and get you wet. And I've been making A-rigs all winter, selling them. I haven't been fishing. I didn't know how good it was or nothing. I catch like 18 pounds on a trap, and I'm like, that February in Gunnersville, you know, usually 18 pounds to get you like 12, you know, something like that. So I was like, well, as bad as it was today weather-wise, you know, I'll get my money back and get on home. I finished like 55th with 18-something. It took 32 pounds to win. It took 23 or 24 to get a check. I mean, I walked up there to the bag line. I mean, these guys are just 2-bagging in front of me. Just everybody's carrying 2 bags. I was like, oh my God. I mean, what's going on here? And everybody's like, Alabama rig, Alabama rig. I came home, took everything out of my boat, told my wife, I was like, if you see me carry any of those tackle boxes back out there before summertime, you just go out there and let the air out of my tires. And so I just put a Tupperware thing full of Alabama rigs and swim baits in there, and it's all I threw for 4 months after that. Never made a cast or nothing else.
That's crazy.
And I finished in the money and pretty much in the top 10 and everything I fished for the next 5 months.
That's crazy.
You could throw out there in the school fish, and you could get 2 on purpose every cast. All you gotta do is hook them and let them run around.
Yeah.
And now you can throw it on a deep school, and they will leave. I mean, you can throw it about 10 casts and idle, and there'll be like 2 dots there, and there was like 40. They will leave, just like 10XD. It's kind of the same way in some places down there now. Like that big old plug, you know, the same thing that made it so great. They could find it so easy. They also got wise to it like that much more, it seems like.
Yeah.
So what else? We got the Alabama rig. Chatterbait did that, right? Thanks to this guy right here.
Yeah. 10XD.
10XD got like that?
When it first came out, like anyone on Tennessee River, dude, you could just mop them on it. I think they were swimming like 10 feet to bite it too.
Oh, at least.
But
how about the Senko?
And they do still bite the 10 pretty good if you get around the right fish, but
it's still situational though. It's all that stuff. Every new thing that comes out, it's awesome, and then it falls into its situation. You know, where you're supposed to throw it.
What else went nuts? 10XD.
That's about all I know.
Senko, chatterbait.
Senko and Alabama rig and chatterbait.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories of like back in the day when the old spider jig came out.
On the bug bait.
Yeah, my granddad tells me about the buzz bait. Like he said, it was incredible. It was kind of like the.
When was that?
Like they just mopped them. Oh, I don't know. He was like big tournament fisherman, like in the '70s. He went to Florida one time and he had 2 buzz baits. He went down there for a week, and the blades fell off of both of them like 2 days in because he'd done wore the blades slap off of them. He said it was crazy. He's like you could just throw it in the same lily pad, a little patch like the size of your boat, and catch like 20 in a row on a buzz bait, just like in the same little lily pad patch. They would just keep getting it, just keep coming out of there and falling for it. Now I don't think anybody even throws a buzz bait in Florida anymore.
Well, when I fished out of the back of Thrift boat the other day, I had a Carolina rig on.
Yeah, I like a Carolina rig.
I remember one time, it was 100 years ago.
Carolina rig, that's another one when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potomac River. I remember. It wasn't a BFL though. It was a open tournament or something. You know, just a local team. I remember walking out the dock in the morning, getting ready to take off, walking out the dock. And I looked down and saw one of my buddies sitting there. He was rigging up a Carolina rig, and I just stopped and looked at him and I said, "Hell, man, don't give up yet. We ain't even started." He cussed me. Not the first time I ever got cussed.